Not my problem.
Hello?
Breaking news! In an interview between GameSkinny and Nintendo of Canada, we learned one very interesting fact about the NX. Nintendo is no longer willing to talk about it. In an article from My Nintendo News, we learned that Andrew from Nintendo of Canada said this: Nintendo is not ready to discuss this, the NX, yet. Once we are, Nintendo will most likely hold a Nintendo Direct in the future. So let me get this straight. First, Nintendo announces the NX 2 years ago in an offhand comment during an investors meeting. Then it gives us the release month in another offhand comment during another investors meeting. And now they're annoyed that we keep asking about this thing that they won't even talk about. There's about 6 months left until the alleged release of the NX, and we still have seen and heard nothing of any substance. It really makes you wonder exactly what Nintendo's plan is regarding their newest console product. Thankfully, we got a small bit of good news from Ubisoft just a few days ago. Speaking to IGN, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot said this: I think once again, the interface is very attractive. It's a machine that will be easy to use for all gamers. They have built in something that will give us chance to really have a different experience from what exists today. He then went on and called it a fantastic machine, and believes it's another example of Nintendo's innovation and their ability to push gaming forward. However, he would not confirm or deny any of the NX rumors that are currently up and floating around the internet. However, one thing we can ascertain from this is that the NX will indeed be different than the PS4 and Xbox One. Every rumor has pointed to this, and now it seems to be confirmed. Nintendo is not trying to make another GameCube, but rather trying to innovate on more than just graphic chips and teraflops. But as always, until Nintendo reveals anything directly, we will simply have to be excited. In other news, a chief executive at the Pokémon Company has also confirmed that they too will create games for the next Nintendo console. Exactly what that means will remain to be seen, but with the popularity of games like Pokémon Go turning heads and a few pocketbooks, there are a few things we can assume. With rumors that the NX will combine or share function with a mobile, smartphone-esque interface, a port of Pokémon Go or perhaps an entirely new experience seems very possible. Could we see the first console port of a Pokémon game? Could Sun and Moon be the games that break the 20-year trend? Well, that remains to be seen, but if the NX is indeed combining the console and handheld markets, it wouldn't be too far-fetched an idea. However, one thing to remember is that in most of the world, console gaming is waning, and mobile or handheld gaming is at the forefront. Pokémon Go is a perfect example of this. Even though it really wasn't a game per se, it captured the minds and dollars of tens of millions of people, if only for a short while. Even so, if games like Candy Crush and Angry Birds weren't enough evidence, Pokémon Go and now Nintendo's newly announced Super Mario Run should be enough evidence to convince anyone that mobile gaming is stronger than ever and Nintendo is more than willing to move in a mobile direction. Perhaps the NX was always meant to be a handheld mobile device and the console portion is simply tacked on for the Western markets. You see, mobile and handheld gaming is an enormous market in Japan and Southeast Asia. The fact that Western Sony press conferences have no mention of the Vita, while the TGS Sony press conference announced 2 new Vita colors, should be enough to prove that. However, many of Nintendo's franchises, such as Zelda and Metroid, are much more popular in the West than Japan. So Nintendo may find itself at a sort of crossroads. Do they focus on mobile gaming to appeal to its large Asian consumer base? Or do they try to push their long-standing franchises with the console-based fans? Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Run seem to be them trying to keep both feet on both sides of the line. The real question is, how long can they keep this up, and which side will ultimately succeed? And for our final news story, Foxconn, the company who manufactures pretty much every console you can imagine, has undertaken trial production of the NX. Although Nintendo themselves have told us that the release date will be in March, it is nice to be assured that the console actually does exist.
Thank you so much for 30,000 subscribers, everyone.
We are completely speechless in terms of the support you have given us since the beginning of this channel and throughout this incredible year, and we want to give it back to you through a new lore series premiering next week. We'll have a 30,000 subscribers celebration stream this Friday, and then of course we have some other surprises as well. But the biggest one comes now from Alex. Take it away.
Thank you so much for watching this video of the Commonwealth Realm. My name is Alex Myers, and I am now joining the Commonwealth as the Japan News and Opinion Division. And of course, if you like the sound of my voice and the cut of my jib, you might like my channel as well. The link is down below. If you're curious about Japanese games or the Japanese indie scene, games that have not been and will never be translated, then you can watch me do Let's Plays of them while I translate in real time. And on top of that, it's my life's mission on YouTube here to find the craziest websites I can find and share it all with you. So if that sounds interesting to you, please feel free to check it out and subscribe.